Hello there, my name's Vince from My Mate Vince, and in this video today we're going to be looking at a Philips G7000, a Videopac computer. This was made in 1978, so it's got a lot of age to it now. The same sort of era as the Atari 2600, so I presume they were in competition with each other. Looks like the Atari 2600 probably won, because I've never seen one of these before, never played one before, certainly haven't attempted to fix one. So if you haven't seen my videos before, this is just me attempting to fix something. I'm certainly not an expert in any of these repairs. So the backstory is it was taken down from the attic after all these years, and then it did work for a day. Then the next day, everything was just frozen. So when they try to play a game, it just freezes up. It was given to me by my brother to look at, and it belonged to his wife's family. Now, sadly, she lost her brother. He passed away when he was young. So I'm sure there's going to be sentimental value to this as well. It comes with 2 games here. So that game is called Space Monster, and this one here looks like there's different games on it, Pairs and Space Rendezvous and Logic. So it looks like maybe 3 games are built into that one, and it's telling you to when you look at the cartridge on the inside, it looks like you have to hold down a different combination of buttons to get into each game. So it looks like you have to do reset here and then 1 or 2 or reset and 4. So yeah, it should be quite interesting. Hopefully we will be able to get it to work. I'm going to connect it up to a little TV now just to verify that it is freezing up. Instantly I'm thinking there must be some sort of video chip in here, and maybe that's not happy. Could it be capacitor related? Maybe it's not getting fed with a clean signal and then it freezes up. Should be interesting. I'm not sure why it worked for one day though, when it's probably been up in the attic for a good 30 years. Let's see what it's doing. Exciting times. It's got one program and it came up with a screen that looks similar to an Atari type screen. Alright, interesting. So that's the screen there, and it does seem to be frozen. So I presume this is controller 1. There's no indication whether it's 1 or 2, but the lead on the back here, this is 1 controller lead, this is 2 controller leads, so I presume this is going to be 1. But if I hit that button there, or on controller 2, it's not doing anything. And if I hit reset, it's not doing anything. And it says here reset +1. So if I hit reset +1, unless the keyboard's not working, it's not doing anything. So I don't even know how you're supposed to change the games on here. There's no like power switch or anything like that I can see. So yeah, there doesn't seem to be any power thing there. Little Philips sticker. Made in France. It's nice. All the wires go straight into the back here, yet there is moulded stuff here. So maybe on other revisions they had, maybe you could plug your own joysticks in or something. But yeah, there's no power there. So I presume I just have to pull the game out, which seems so wrong, but here we go. And it hasn't done anything. So if I hit reset here, I'm wondering now if it's a keyboard issue. Maybe that is the kind of home screen when you turn it on. Let's try this game here. Unless, of course, the games just need a clean. It's possible they've got that little cover on there. Right. No. Reset 4. Reset and 4. Well, we can clearly see it's not working. Let's get it over to the mat, take it apart, see if we can see what's happening. So it looks like we've got 2 screws here, a screw here, and 2 screws. No, so 1, 2, 3, 4 screws. They just look like Philips. So it says G7000 /37Z. Right, that is remarkably clean. Let me just retrieve these screws before they fly across the room. Wow. Very clean. Look at that. That's unbelievable. I was expecting to see loads of dust. Obviously I'm unplugged. So where does the mains cable come in? Cables are super long on this, which is actually really nice to see. Because it means you don't have to be glued to 1 metre away from the TV. Right, so it comes in here. Looks like it goes into here. I think I can see a transformer in there. Right now, so we have, this is going to be the RF modulator, yeah, going out here. Oh, look, the joysticks are connected with little ports there. They're not soldered onto the board, there are little ports. And this is the ribbon cable here going off to the keyboard. See, there's a chance that the keyboard's not working. Let's take it off. Take this board out here and see what's happening. So we've got 2 screws, and what's this here? Oh, this is the power coming in. So the power is soldered from here to here. Well, we know we're getting power, don't we? Because obviously we have a display on the screen. It's much harder when you haven't worked on these before, because I'm not actually sure what it should look like when you turn it on, but clearly it shouldn't be a frozen screen. Right, so it looks like it's taped, it's stuck down on this big lump of foam just here. There we go. And it's still sticky, amazing. Right, let's undo this here. Right, I can't get that in wrong because it's keyed here, so that's fine. Right now, let's not worry about the power board, let's concentrate here. So what's this going off to? So this is some kind of ground there. We do have little capacitors. Again, this thing looks brand new. Should we have a look at the chips? Let's zoom in. Okay, we've got a Motorola chip, MCM6810P. Intel, there you go, 78. Oh, 77. Oh, so these must be the years, because this is 1978. So we got a P8048H and a P8245 L303841 8307. Right, okay. Let's have a quick visual look around the place, see if everything looks okay. Capacitors I don't think have leaked. Let's have a look at the video game port. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to undo this ribbon cable here because I'm worried that it's going to break. There we go. Well, I think the contacts look okay. I hate these membrane type keyboards because they just fail so easy. It reminds me of the Microvision that I had. I think that looks okay. Let's have a look in the port here. It's got 2 straps. Is that when you're taking the game out to help it not pull the cartridge off, you know, to hold this down to the board? Is that dirt? Let me get a little brush. Okay, so there is evidence of dust here, which you would expect because it's open to the elements. There's no dust cover or anything on the actual on the console itself. Those contacts look good, don't they? Nice and clean. Oh look, these chips have been socketed, so if you had another one, they make it nice and easy to swap them over. I'm just going to use my eye loupe. I'm going to have a good look around the place just in case there's some bit of corrosion or something that I haven't spotted with my eye. Just notice that there must be an option to have a cartridge or something in on this bit, unless they're using this bit for some kind of programming. It's on the other side as well. Well, concentrating on this here, bearing in mind there still could be a problem here. Maybe it's not being fed with the correct voltage. You know, that is possible. So if I could find out what voltage it is, maybe I could just put in power from my bench power supply straight into here, disconnect this, and then see if it comes to life. That might be an option. But look, I did spot this. If you look at this Intel chip here, the smaller one of the two, it does look slightly bowed. If you have a look on this side, it's quite straight. Look at this side, it's bowing outwards. Can you see that? So I wonder if that was to be pushed in. Whoops. You know, I wonder whether it's making an iffy contact there. Throughout all the years, maybe the pressure of the legs of the chip has just kind of bent the plastic out. It really is bowed, isn't it, here? If you compare it to that one, looks relatively straight. That one I think looks straight, but that really does look bowed. So if I was to take a straight edge, can you, well, you can't see, it needs to be smaller. Just on here. There. Can you see it bowing out in the middle? Here. Let's go on to continuity. And let's just go from top to bottom. Then I know that it's made the contact, because I can just go onto the legs here on the bottom. And it would be great if it was just that. Yeah, they are all there. Right, okay. I think I'm going to plug it in. I want to see what voltage is coming up on these two here. So I'm going to keep my hands well away from here, because we're going to have mains voltage coming into this down here somewhere. This part of the board is a lovely, weird looking capacitor type thing in there. It's all multicolored. Can you see it? Red, yellow, white and blue. Lovely. Right, so obviously don't copy what you see in my videos. I'm not going to be touching this. I just purely want to go across here on my meter to see what voltage we're reading, what DC voltage we're reading. So I'm going to be plugging it in now. There we go. Let's go to volts DC. And let's see what we have here. I'm wondering if the voltage is unstable. .8 volts. 4.8. I'm going to get my scope onto that. I just want to see if it looks clean or not. Right, so the brown is positive. Scope's playing up. Right, either the battery's gone or there's a bad connection somewhere. I just wanted to see whether it was a stable, you know, DC voltage, or whether it was going all over the place. No, it's not happy. The battery's probably gone. Okay, let me unplug it. So we know that it's 5 volts, and we know that is the brown one that's positive. So let's unsolder that. Even though I'm unplugged, I'm keeping my hands well away from here, because there will still be voltage in the capacitors. Just going to take a picture of this so I know how to put it back. So by doing this, if I put 5 volts in and it starts working, I know that I can concentrate my efforts on this here. If it still doesn't work, then I know it's something to do with here. It could even be that both games are faulty. I don't know what it's supposed to display when you first of all turn it on. Okay, I'm going to bring the screen in here. So let's plug this back in. So we're not going to be using that now. Let's get the keyboard back in. Screw that's back in. Another little sticker there. Right, so I'm not going to be plugging it in now. I'm just going to plug in the TV and get my bench power supply and put 5 volts on. So let's go to 5 volts and I'm going to go to 1 amp. Right, so bench power supply is 5 volts and 1 amp. So if you have a look there now, you can see 4.9 volts. Right, let's get the game and the TV. Alright, I'm limited on space here. This thing's huge. Right, let's try the game where you don't have to choose any of the selects. So we'll try this one here. And there is a chance the games are faulty. So let's plug it in. Now they're keyed here, so they can't go in the wrong way, so I definitely had them in the right way. Let me just see what happens when you do that. It's not going to go. I just got done by that capacitor, you see, even though it's been unplugged all that time, I just got a shock off that capacitor. Right, let's see how many volts is in that capacitor. It was only a little tingle. Where are you, capacitor? So where would you be? This is far from ideal. I can't even see what it is. There's loads of capacitors. I can't see what I got shocked off. But it was that one. 80 volts there, 70 volts. Be so careful. So I say, never copy what you see in my videos. I should be draining that down. In fact, let's do that. Otherwise I'm going to get told off in the comment section. Here we go. Let's just drain that down. Got a massive resistor in here, which will turn that electricity into heat. There we go. Yeah, you can see the voltage has gone there now. I'm not going to touch it though, because there's capacitors all over that, and maybe there's other ones in the circuit waiting to get me. So let's turn the TV on, get that ready. Get my bench power supply on. Okay. Right, so that's what we had before. So now let's try to press reset. So reset's not working. 1, 2, none of the buttons seem to do anything. Well, at least we're one step closer to fixing it. We've now eliminated the power supply because we've used a bench power supply and it's still doing the same as it did earlier. So it's definitely not power supply related. Now, next up, what I do is the chips are socketed, but there could be a little bit of corrosion, or they might be oxidized where they've been socketed. So I'm going to take out each chip one by one and I'm just going to clean them up. I could use a fiberglass pen, but that caused havoc with my skin. So I'm just going to use my grinding pen just to go across them very, very gently. I'm not really even getting rid of any metal. It's just getting rid of the oxidization that's happened on the surface. I do that across all 3 chips, and also I put a little bit of deoxit on the legs of the chip just to make a nice clean contact. Unfortunately, that still doesn't make any difference at all. So there's about 5 capacitors on this board. Everything looks immaculate. If I had another one, another console, I would simply change the 3 chips out and it might start working. It could be a problem with the main CPU on this, I'm not sure. But I haven't got another one, so I've just got to try and work with what I've got here. So I am going to just swap the 5 capacitors out purely because it's going to be really easy to do, and it's just another thing to eliminate. I have got 3 of the capacitors, but 2 of them are 1 microfarad 63 volts, and I've only got 1 microfarad 50 volts. I'm going to put the 50 volts in just purely for testing. If I can get this working, I can always put the 63 volt ones back in, or if everything starts working after I change the capacitors out, then clearly I can just easily buy them on eBay, 1 microfarad 63 volt, and then install the correct ones. So the 50 volt ones are too low, but they're not going to burn. It'd be unlikely that they're going to burn out instantly. I just want to see if it behaves any differently. Anyway, I do that. I'm cutting through quite a lot of this video because it's long, and it still doesn't make any difference. We still get the garbled screen. But interestingly, when I've Googled it, it says that the garbled screen occurs when you haven't got a game. So this really could be as simple as both games are faulty. So the next thing I look at is I look at one of the games to see if there's anything obvious on the inside there. I have tried cleaning both of them, but there's nothing happening when I clean them. It doesn't make a blind bit of difference. So let's pick up the video as I try to dismantle one of the games, because the layout on the inside is a little bit different than what I've seen before. Now this is interesting. I've been looking online and there's a website called www.bpharaoh.co.uk, and it's somebody who bought one off eBay, and it didn't come with any controllers or anything, because some of the other models, they have ports for like the controllers and also the power supplies and stuff, while this, it's all hardwired in. But look, basically it says here it lives, and look at that screen there. That is the same screen that I'm getting, yeah? And it says all that gobbledygook on the screen is totally normal and proves this fully working. This is what you see when there's no cartridge plugged in. Then he goes on to buy some cartridges from eBay, and then basically it's working. I'm gonna have to get into these. Now I've had a quick look online, I can't see anybody taking these apart. I'm sure there will be videos, but when I type in how to take them apart, I didn't see anything. But I can definitely feel an indentation here and here. And when I look through here with the torch, it looks like there's a post going through here. So I think it's gonna be, hold on, what's this here? I think the top bit is going to be clipped in, and I think I have to remove the stickers here. So before we worry about anything else, I haven't looked up the pinouts of the chips. Let's take apart one of these just in case something will become obvious on the inside here, because I don't know what the inside looks like. So it's a shame to have to do this because this looks perfect, but I've got no way of getting in there. You can see, in fact, it looks like there's a post here. Can you see the plastic looks different here and here? So I'm sure there's a post in here. So I suppose I better add a little bit of heat. I'll just do 100 degrees Celsius. Just to try to melt up the glue a bit. $19.80 it says here. Why does it say that on the other one? 1980. Right, we'll give that a go. Oh, it looks like it's okay, well I can see a screw there. It looks like it's kind of cardboard actually. So it's going to be glued down. There we go, there's the screws. Okay. Right, okay, so that's two. Oh, that's nice. That's made out of metal. Wow. And that goes around there. Let me take a picture of that so I can take that off. Right, well, I don't think I'm going to have any luck here. I wonder, is that covering a little window? No. Ah, I think I'm going to have to get some more games. Unless, of course, it is oxidized. It does look a bit weird there, but I did try cleaning it. I'm just going to take a picture of this top bit so I know how to put the wires back. The spring back, I mean. Alright, let's zoom in, see if anything becomes obvious. Right, I can see a joint there that looks a bit iffy, but it is still connected. And it looks like the pins are going nicely on here. You can see two prongs on each of them. So although it is a little bit, has gone a bit oxidized, not here. But I'll clean it anyway. Well, I clean it, and guess what? It makes no difference. So now I'm going to pick up the video the next day. I put this to bed for the night and I pick it up the next day, and what I've done is I've downloaded the pinouts for the three main chips, the socketed chips, because everything looks perfect. So I'm thinking if everything's perfect, maybe it's going to be a chip problem. There's no burning on the board, there's no water damage anywhere, everything just looks brand new. So that says to me it's going to be one of the chips.
The next day.
Okay, so next day now, and I've printed out some things here. I've tried to do a bit of research on it. It's kind of difficult because there's obviously you've got Magnavox and you've also got Philips. And then you've got other models of it as well. So some of them have ports on the back and stuff. So maybe the sort of chips in the inside are different. I'm not too sure. But basically, there is a few people mentioning that they've got this problem that I've got with the garbled image on the screen and nothing happening. But there doesn't seem to be a solution apart from see if you can get some chips from somewhere else to swap them out. Now, obviously, like I've said already, if I already had one of these, it would probably be fixed ages ago because I would know it's this chip at fault or this chip at fault. But I haven't got another one at this moment in time. So that's why it makes a video like this for me incredibly difficult, because I'm just trying to work out what I can work out just with the one device itself. Anyway, I have printed some stuff out. There are also videos on YouTube, but the ones I've kind of scanned through seem to be more about like restoring them, which is basically cleaning them and stuff like that, rather than getting into the nitty-gritty of fixing the boards. But they might exist. As I say, I haven't put a huge amount of research into it. I managed to download the schematics, which even with my eye loop, to me is just a big massive blur. So I think I'm going to have to expand it. I'm not sure if I expand it whether it still be blurred or not, but I might not have to get involved with that. I managed to download both the pinouts for the chips. The chips I'm interested in basically are the two Intel ones here. So this big one, I think the problem is going to be with this CPU here, because this seems to do all the work. This is one of the very, very early microcontrollers, and I think it was one of Intel's, one of the first ones, and set them up to become the company that they are today. So it's quite an important chip. Anyway, this one is basically the CPU. This chip here is this one, and this one is PAL because it's 8245. 8244 would be the NTSC ones, but because everything's generated on this, I don't think there's any speed difference or anything between the PAL and the NTSC versions on this particular console. This could all be wrong, so don't take it as gospel. So this one here is basically a video display controller. So what I think the problem is going to be to do with this one here, but I have downloaded the pinouts here, and what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to go across the main chip, the main CPU chip. Let's see if we're getting voltage on it, on the VCC. It's got a VDD, which is low power standby pin. Not too sure what that means. Also, we've got a crystal here, so maybe I could get my scope working. We've got a reset here, active low, so I believe when we pull this to low it should reset this. So maybe we could see if it's always low, maybe that's the problem. Yeah, I think it would need to be high in order for it to work, I think. And then if we put it down to ground, it should reset it. This one might be quite interesting. EA, external memory. So I believe when we have that pin, not sure if it's high or low, it should be reading from the external memory, which I presume is the game, but I could be wrong. So, and this one's the ground down there. Down, it's going to be this way around, up here. So this one up here is the ground. So let's just double check that just to make sure that the pin out, because again there's so many different chips. Even this here is labelled down as a load of different chips. Let's just see if this is a ground here. Fantastic, excellent. Right, and then after that we've got this little chip here, and what I'm looking forward to doing is the sound output. So why don't I get my little speaker and get a cable connected to it and see if this is actually generating any sound, because there's no sound coming on the TV. If it's not generating sound, then we know, if it is generating sound there, then maybe it's something between here and the RF output, but I don't think it is. But anyway, we've got a load of other things we can check here. Yeah, so we've got a clock here, we have the 5 volts in, so we've got a few things we can check. So let's get it powered up and let's start on this main big chip here. So I'm going to go to voltage. I've got it 5 volts. Let's do this here. Let's see what's happening. Right, excellent. So we've got the same picture as yesterday. Let's see, I presume the chip is getting its voltage, so we're going to turn this chip round this way because that's going to mimic this one here. And let's go between ground and 5 volts here. And we have 4.8 volts. So that part there is good. Hopefully you can see that. Let me just go between ground and this one. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we've got 4.8 volts there as well. Right, so that's getting there. Well, I'll tell you what, while we've got that there, let's jump straight onto this one. Again, let's put it this way round. So this is the video chip. And let's see if we have 5 volts. So we're going to have ground here and here. Yep, 4.8 volts. Hopefully you can see that. And should we go straight for the sound output? I think we should. This is quite exciting. Right, let me get my lead set up. Right, so I've got my little Bluetooth speaker here. Hopefully you'll hear it. I'll hear it. And I've got this here. So the ground is going to be, where's my ground when I've got this all taped up? Ground is going to be the black one here. So let's just touch this against here. And I'm going to go on to the sound one here, which is the second one along. Let's see what it's doing. So I can't hear anything. Yeah? Let me just try this one. Right, so I can't hear any game playing. I've got that correct, haven't I? I wouldn't have to use another. Well, let's use the ground of the chip. No, I can't hear any like beeps or anything like that. Right, let's go back to reset. So let's try to reset the chip. Where is reset? Reset here, 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's measure to see what that is right now, because maybe the chip's in a permanent state of reset. So we're going to go to ground here and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. What are you reading? Nah, see, it's 4.8. So let's put that to ground and let's see if anything changes anywhere. So let me get a tweezers or something. Right, so I'm going to bring it to ground and we'll see what happens. See if anything happens on the screen here, because that's the same as, must be the same as hitting reset on the keyboard. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nothing. So there's nothing happening on the screen at all, yeah? Oh, did it wobble there for a second? What would happen if I was to ground the crystal? Shall we see? I think, is there any reset on this one here? These are the outputs here. You see RGB for the video. But we know that that's working. We've got RGB, haven't we? We've got the colours. I'm certain this chip is at fault. But the problem is you can't just buy them because they would need to be programmed. So somebody with a little programmer would be able to get their working chip, dump it, and then program one up for you. But I haven't got a programmer, and even if I had, I haven't got a working chip, and even if I had, I wouldn't have a clue what I'm doing. So I'm more of a kind of like a bit of corrosion and redo a trace kind of guy rather than getting involved in all the software side of things like that. I don't know why, but software's got no interest to me whatsoever. But interestingly, on this, there's whole forums around all the kind of shapes that you see on screen, like little men and stuff like that, are all programmed in here. I think there's 64, was it 64? Different characters, and they're stored in here, and then that's where the game grabs them from. So it's all very clever. So I could imagine if I went right back to basics that maybe I could get into it, but I'm going to be 50 years behind what they're doing now. So I think I would be able to get my head around this level of things, but then you see my life's not long enough to be able to then get up to speed. I say that though, but then you have these kids that can hack into these systems and stuff at the age of 15, and clearly they didn't start when they were 2 years old, so it's amazing what you can do in 10 years if you're into something. Right, okay, let's see what this external memory is. Let's see what that's reading. So that is 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ah, so that's low. Does that not need to be high in order to read this? I have actually currently got the game plugged in, the one that I took apart earlier. I've just plugged the circuit board off the game in, which is the game. Okay, I hope this is not going to be risky. Let's put the VCC into 7. There's certain people now saying, no, you're going to blow the chip. Let's do it. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hold on, let's move that out of the way just in case we do get something. Apologies for the buzz. But I want the volume up in case sound comes to life, you see. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, did something different change there? Something changed. Oh no, I didn't spot that. Hold on. 1 second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Something did change, did it not? Now, that's the only time we've got something to change. Well, I reset it a couple more times. I hit E8 a couple more times, but it makes no difference. I'm going to put a new battery in my scope. I want to see if anything's happening on the crystal of this chip, because maybe the crystal itself's failed. It looks like the crystal is stored by the RF sort of side off the board with the shield over it. So there is a few components underneath that shield that I haven't actually examined, but when I look through on the side, it all kind of looks okay in there. It doesn't look like there's any water damage or anything like that. Right, I put a new battery in and it's come back to life. So I say this all the time, but I so rarely use this that every time I use it, I completely forget how to use it. But anyway, I'm going to put that onto ground there. I want to make sure there's nothing on the other side of that. Actually, I can put it onto here. So that'd be a nice one. There, okay. And I've got my little probe here. So I want to go across this crystal and we'll see whether it does anything on here. Right, 1 second. See, it's doing... Right, so it's not doing anything now. And it is doing something. I can see it's gone up. There you go. I'm going to go back down. Right, let's do a quicker, because there's that 0.1 of a second. Let's go right the way down to, you know, like milliseconds. Let's see now, will it go quicker? Yeah, can you see it instantly up? Let's try the other side of the crystal. That's up. Would be actually nice if we could get a waveform on it. Let's go to the quickest it will go. Well, I mean, it's doing something, isn't it? And I suppose if the crystal wasn't working, it wouldn't even be able to display this. Let me just see what number 7's doing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Not sure. It seems to be doing something, but I don't know what. Anything else on there? Active low. That's the reset. We know that's high already. Right, okay, so there's nothing on there that's jumped out. Let's do this clock one here. So this is going to be number 1 here. And look, we've got that there, haven't we? I mean, it's not reading 3.58 megahertz, but still, I don't know how good the scope is. And again, I don't know if I've got the settings on correct. I've got it to DC up here at the moment. That seems to be doing something. You know what? I can't take this any further. Let me go to sound output. So there's nothing happening there. Well, there is. I mean, it's something happening. Let me go to 20, 19, and 18, which is the blue, green, and red. So that is 1, 2, 3. So that's got something again because it is displaying on the screen. That's got something. And that's got something. These are some sort of data. I don't know, what's ALE? I mean, we just seem to have stuff everywhere, but we have got it displaying. So basically, it could be as simple as both games are faulty, or I think this isn't reading the games properly. Do you know what I'm going to do? Purely for the purpose of the video. So basically, look, I can't fix this one. If this was my mate Vince from a few years ago, I would just end that video there and say it can't be fixed. I'm going to buy a working one because I want to know other people are having this same issue, and I want to know what it is, because then, for example, if we know, I mean, it could be different on everybody's, but if, for example, if on my one it is this one, then there might be a market for people programming their own chips and selling them on eBay, because these are only going to, things like this are only going to get, I presume, more popular over the next 5 or 10 years as more people get into the retro computing side of things. So I'm going to try to buy a working one. So it is a shame that I can't fix it in its own right, but if I can get a working one, then I'll have one to compare readings against, and hopefully then I might end up with 2 working ones at the end of it, which is better than 1 faulty one. So I have a look around eBay and I do find one for £60. I put a best offer in for £50, and it comes with a load of games as well. So let's pick up the video a few days later when that has arrived.
A few days later.
Right, so a few days later, I managed to pick up one for, I think I put an offer in for £50, best offer, and it came through. Packaging was phenomenal. I've never had such good packaging. It came with all these games as well. I've just been messing around with this one here. It's like a Pac-Man type game, and it really is very playable. And these joysticks are phenomenal, especially on a Pac-Man game. It's just boom, 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 boom. There's no, you know you've got it kind of spot on. It was working really nicely. Hopefully I'll be able to show you that working on this one, so I don't want to give away any gameplay yet. Basically, it's not the games, because I tried one of the games that my brother gave me on this one here, and it's working just fine. So it is the system. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one apart. I'm going to put all 3 chips from there into here and see if it starts working, and also put these 3 chips into here. And then obviously if it's not working, I mean, it'd be great if it's not, because I might be able to take it further then, and it might be something which is easy to fix rather than saying, oh, annoyingly, the main CPU chip's gone. But I'm going to change the 3 chips over and take it from there. So I take the working one, I take it apart, I drain the power out of the power supply so I don't get electrocuted, and then I take the 3 chips out. I then get the faulty console and I put the 3 chips into that one. So now we've got all 3 chips completely swapped out. Let's go back into the main room, onto the TV, and let's see now what's happening. Will the faulty one now work? I think the answer is going to be yes. Okay, so 3 different chips in here now. Is it going to work? I'm going to say yes. So let's put the game in and let's plug it in. Are you ready? Here goes. Plugging it in now. Whoa! What? No way! No way! Kind of pleased though. So unplug that. Let's give it one more go. No! Wow! I would have bet a lot of money that that would have fixed it. I thought it was going to be the CPU, or at the very least the video chip next to it. Okay, I'm going to put those 3 chips that were from here into the working one from eBay, and then we'll see if that's working. Just in case, by me unplugging them and plugging in, I've ESD shocked them or something like that. Fingers crossed that's not the case. I won't bother filming it. I'm just going to put the other 3 chips in it. I'll bring it in here and we'll plug that one in and see if it's working. Okay, so the eBay one with the chips from the faulty unit. Now, let's see if it's going to work. Also using the same game that my brother gave me as well. Hope this works. That looks a bit crooked. There we go. I'd be gutted if this doesn't work, because then it means that I've somehow done something to the chips, but surely this is going to work now. Come on. Fantastic. Excellent. Amazingly, the chips are not at fault. Oh no, what could it be? Right, what I'm going to do is I just want to eliminate the keyboard just in case. Let's say if something was not spilt, because it all looks immaculate, but let's say if that keyboard went faulty and, you know, R, F and B or something were stuck together. Maybe there's a certain combination of buttons that would stop it from booting. So I'm going to unplug this one. I'm going to disconnect the keyboard. I want to see if the game will still boot. Sorry, if I'll still get to this with the keyboard. And then I know it's nothing to do with the keyboard itself. I want to prove that it's a fault just on. We know it's not the power supply because we put the bench power supply into here. I just want to prove that it's a fault on the main board and not the RF or anything, or to do anything to do with the keyboard or anything else. So bear with me, I'm just going to disconnect that now. Keyboard has now been disconnected. Let's plug it back in. Excellent. Right, so we know it's nothing to do with the keyboard. Really, I need to eliminate the RF as well, don't I? So let's see if there's a way that I can plug in, because then I know, you know, there's going to be no doubt in my mind. I know it's not the RF, but I just need to eliminate that. Let me see if there's a way that I can swap the RFs over. Right, so the eBay one here is using the RF now off the one my brother gave me. Let's plug it in and see if it is working. Yes, it is. There was no audio there, but that's because I haven't got the black one connected, I think. But it's working. So we now know, without a shadow of doubt, it's nothing to do with the power supply, it's nothing to do with the RF, it's nothing to do with the keyboard, it's nothing to do with the 3 chips. It's something else on this board, or this one, which is causing it not to boot. So I think now I need to do diode test, and I need to go across everything to see if I can find a difference between the working one and the non-working one. I'm really enjoying this one. Okay, this is going to be a long process. First of all, I have drained using my resistors the energy out of it. It was up at 225 volts again, even though it's been off for about 15-20 minutes. But I've drained it down. So this is what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be going to diode test. So meter up here into diode. I'm going to be putting the red probe to a ground. For example, I'll be putting it in whatever a good ground is. Will it fit in here somewhere? There. I'll be putting it in there. And then I'm going to be going across. Bear with me. Do you know what I should do here? Actually be a lot quicker. Let me get, because I want to link both grounds together. because I want the lead to be on both grounds. Then I can just compare between one to another. So let me get, I've got it labelled up here, eBay and my brother's one, so I know which is which. Let me get a crocodile clip to go between here, and that should link up all the grounds then. Right, so crocodile clip here, joined together here, yeah? So if I go here, let's just make sure that this is grounding the rest of the board as well. There and here. If we put this back to continuity, there we go. So you can see now, oh, maybe that's not ground. Let's go on the negatives. Oh, it's measuring over 50 ohms. Is that through that then? Hold on. Let's just see what's the ground here. Yeah, but that's no good. Right, okay. Let's not do it on there. Let's do it on here. There. And here. Now, let's see if that's better. Much better. There, that's 7 ohms, yeah? When my leads are together, they currently are, yeah, under 1 ohm. So my leads are behaving themselves. Yeah, so it's fine. No, hold on a minute. That's not going to, is that going to give me a good enough? I'm wondering, is that going to give me different readings when it comes to, because the ohms are so different there. This lead is rubbish. Why is this lead so bad? 10 ohms? There we go. Let me solder that up. I want it to be a good reading, so I can, you know, then without moving my leads, just go from one point to the point over here. Yeah, less than 1 ohm. Perfect. Right, okay. So now between here and here, I should have less than 1 ohm. Yeah, perfect, 0.5 of an ohm. Right, so we're going to go on to diode test. And what I can do is I can jam this lead in here now. There. And I can measure to see what it's going to measure in between them. So for example, if I was to go onto this one here, you can see, well, this is a ground, so this is going to read the same. So let's go on to this one here, because I see a trace feed in this. Second one along is 0.72. So let's see if the second one along here is 0.72. Near enough, yeah. So I'm just going to go across all of them. So let's do that one there. And then I want to see if I've got any difference. Is it this one? Yeah, so I'm not talking about tiny amounts, but more than that. So it's going to take quite some time, but literally I am going to go across the board, and I think I'm going to start on the actual cart slot to see if that brings anything up, because it's not reading the games, is it? 0.5, I'll be able to remember a couple. 0.5 ground, ground. That's interesting, that's growing. Let's see if that's doing the same over here. This should be 0.5, which it is near enough. Ground, which it is, ground, and let's see if this one's growing. This is the main one coming in, so yeah, that's grown as well, so let's ignore that. 0.7, 1.09, near enough 0.7, 1. Oh, well, it's climbing, isn't it? Yeah. 0.6, 0.57, 0.57, 0.6, it's quite a bit out, 0.62, so is that enough to worry about there? 0.61, Don't think that's enough to worry about. Anyway, you can see what I'm going to do. I'm going to go across both boards, and hopefully that might pinpoint some issue. I'll start filming if I find anything. Ooh, I have found something. It's only been a couple of minutes later. I'm going through the cartridge slot. Now look at the bottom rows of pins here. This is the faulty one here. And if we go on that one there, you can see it's like 0.9, climbing to 1, and the one next to it is 0.53, which is kind of normal-ish. If you have a look here, when I say normal, I mean that's similar to the other ones. You see climbing, the one next to it, 0.55, 0.56. But now look at all these, yeah? On the good one, 0.56, 0.56-ish, 0.57, 0.56 again-ish, 0.56, 0.57, 0.57, yeah? Now look at this, completely different. Result! I found something different, and it's the game cartridge slot, which makes sense. Can you see these are all different? I don't think that's normal. So we have to find out where these go to. So these two are normal. Let me just try that one with the blobber solder there and the blobber solder here. Yeah, so that's normal. This one's normal. This one's normal. But we have 1, 2, 3, 4, which are not normal. And this side they are. So let's start with that and see where we go from there. So let's see where those 4 go. You never know. All those 4 might go to one chip, which would be fantastic. So let's make a little bit of room. We don't need this now. Now let's zoom in here and see where those 4 go to. Now, remember we haven't unsoldered this here, so there might be something obvious under here. I'm going to go to continuity. So this one goes here to here and then disappears. This one goes to here and disappears. This one goes to here and disappears. And this one goes to here. So there's something on the other side of the board here that we need to see what's what. So let's undo the board and have a look on the other side to see what's there. And on both of them, I've got everything connected. I've just unplugged that now, and I haven't got a game in there, so we shouldn't be getting any different readings between one and the other because they're both the same. Let me make a bit of room here and disconnect these. Now, what is the other side of here? I'll leave that connected for a moment. So we're around about here, wasn't it? Here, going down here. What's the other side? Oh, they're going off on traces. Right, okay, well, let's see what pins they're going to be. So they're going to be on these pins here, so I should be able to trace them from here and see where they go to. So it was these ones here, wasn't it? So let me just double check. Yeah, so this one. See where this one comes up. That comes up here, so let's follow this one. This one goes along here, here. Right, let's pick it up from here and move along a bit. Oh, annoyingly, it goes the other side of the board again. Right, so now let's flip the board over and see what's roughly in this area here. So third one along, was it? It's going to come up somewhere around here. One second. Grounds. It shouldn't be ground, should it? That wasn't coming up as a grounds. Let me see what ohm reading we've got there against ground. So we have something short of the ground, 15 ohms. That's going to be a bit awkward now. So let me find it here, but I might pick up a ground. I can't find it. Here, right, it's here. Okay, here. So now let's follow that. Where do you go to? Go all the way down to here. It goes into the leg of the chip, which is a resistor. Also coming up here. Where does that go to? That is that audio chip. Let's see where that goes down. Video audio chip. Ah, which then goes into this little thing here somewhere. So hold on now, 1 second, let's zoom out. Why do they all go into here? So, third one along here. It's coming up this side. But 14 ohms, that's just going to be a ground, so I'm ignoring that one. But that's not a ground. That's direct, so it's going into here. Let's see if the other ones also go into here. Yeah, at 1 ohm, that goes into there. Let's see if this one. Is that the same as that? There. 1 ohm. This one's the one next to it at 1 ohm. And this one as well. Where does this one go? There was 4, wasn't there? Was there 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me just get an ohms reading, a diode reading here. Yeah, there's this one as well. So where does this one go to? This side. Yeah. Now, let's look up what these chips are. SP8316, SP8316. These chips are quadruple D-type flip-flops. The only flip-flops I know are the ones you wear on your feet. I have not got a clue what that means. I'm just going to Google what does flip-flops mean in IC. Well, this is how bad I am. Even if you put it in layman terms, it still doesn't make sense. A flip-flop is a circuit that can be switched between 2 stable states and can store state information within the physical circuit. The circuit state can be changed as a result of a signal applied to the control input process. So, is it something that has 2 different things, and depending on where a signal goes, it will either output one thing or the other thing? Right, okay, let's unsolder it and see what's happening. I don't know what it means, but basically I know that the multimeter is reading different between them. So we want to remove this chip, so I'm heating up my desolder gun and I'm adding leaded solder to each of the points just to make it easier for the desolder station to undo all of the solder, because these can be a bit hard to get out sometimes. While I'm doing that, I'll shout out the My Mate Vince Massive. The members are kitdigital.com, Kip Hakes, Max Rokotansky, Chris Seal, Felipe at MrKeeps.com, DJVG, Pixie, Anthony Dean, Bazza2, Russ Melanson, Gaspar Heller, Ricard Berglund, Soul Reaver 555, Shamsa Al Sawadi, Stuart Park, and Stephen from the Broken Past over on YouTube. So now we've got this chip out, what we want to test is the board to see, do we still have those weird readings or not? If we do, it suggests maybe it's something else on the board. If we don't, it suggests that we found the faulty chip. What? What? We do still have those weird shorts. Where are you coming from? Where are you coming from? 0.02, so it's not that chip, it's not the flip-flop chip. Where else do you go to? Got to be careful, because when it beeps, it's not actually ground. You see that 14 there is not ground. You know, that's just to ground, yeah. But I want to see where this one goes to. where do you go to then? Right, that's just the ground. You can see there, that's a full short there. Well, clearly we know it's not the chip. So let's take the chip out and see if I can follow the traces underneath it. This is really a proper chase, isn't it? It's not giving up its secrets. Ground myself. Okay. I think there will be a hallelujah if I ever fix this. Right, now, so we're here, yes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to here. Where does that go? That goes off in this direction. Across to here. Is it going through? Right, and it's now going through to this chip here. So from here, it's coming all the way up to here. Where do you go to? Do you travel down here? They're just ground. So now, do I have to take this chip out so I can see what's under here? Well, now that I've got this chip removed, let's see what reading we have. Oh, sorry, 1 second. Which one am I on again? Third one here. So even with that chip removed, we've still got a weird reading there, yeah? So now let's remove this one. If you're wondering why I keep standing up like a madman, it's because I'm grounding myself. I'm not wearing an ESD strap, and old chips like this would be more prone to that than something like a Nintendo Switch or a PlayStation 4, 5, etc. So my plug sockets are metal, so there's little earth wires running to them. So in other words, they're contacted to ground, to earth. So I'm standing up every now and then, and I'm just grounding myself against a metal socket. So if there is any static charge in me, it's not going to discharge itself through the chips, it's going to discharge itself through the sockets. Also, I'm not on carpet. I haven't got a big woolly jumper that I'm rubbing a balloon up and down on to put charge into me. So I feel quite safe not having an ESD strap. I hope you're following along what I'm doing here. Basically, I am looking for what's causing this abnormal diode reading. There's a 14 ohm short to ground somewhere. I could probably add voltage and see if my FLIR cam picks up any heat somewhere. I just feel a bit iffy about doing that, and also it's not a direct short to ground, it's a 14 ohm short to ground. So when it goes through these chips, even the chips might warm up a bit and I might think they're the chips when they're not. That's why I'm just following the diode test. So I'm hopefully, when I remove whatever the faulty component is, my diode test should read 0.56-ish, while at the moment it's reading 0.02-ish. So hopefully when I find the faulty item, I won't have that 14 ohm short to ground anymore. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just chasing around the board until I can find where this abnormal diode reading is coming from. Right, let me just get that reading again. Let's see if it's still weird. Excellent, still weird. So now from here, it goes to here. I can't see where that goes. That's the one feeding it. Right, so now I've got to go back the other side. Right, now let's see where you go. Right, so it goes up here. Up, what's that? Second one along, second one along, second one along to here. So what's going on up here? Right, let's zoom out. So 1, 2, 3, 4 from the top on this thing. 4 from the top on this thing. One of these, which is one of those flip-flop type chips again. 4 from the top. So here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or was it here? Here. And then you go off to, do you go off to here somewhere? Yes, you do. So I can't just keep taking out chip after chip. No. Maybe it's one of these two that failed. I suppose I could take both out. Are they the same model number? 74LS365AN, 365AN, yeah. Okay, well this one here is the end of the line. So from this one, yeah, it does go through to here, but this is the end of the line. So if there was some static or something, maybe it would flow to the very end before blowing it. I'm going to take this chip off first. So we're nearly there, unless somehow a track branches off in 2 directions that I've missed, and then it will throw through another 5 chips. But basically this chip is the end of the line, hence the reason I'm doing this one first. Both chips look perfect, so I haven't really got any way to tell which one is faulty. So I am just using my desolder station. I'm taking out the end of the line chip and then we'll test it. So let's cut to the video now, just as we're about to test it. I've got to try to get this trace off. Alright, what's happening down here? Zoom in on that. There's too much rubbish on my desk, I can't see, everything's in the way. Right, let me try to get a bit of wick and get rid of the solder from there so I can see what's happening. There we go. Okay, here goes. So chip is out. And here. And here. Come on. Whoops. Fantastic. It's gone. 0.58. And if I go onto this one here. So it was that last chip. Look, there you go, 0.56, 0.57, yeah, and here. So I think that last chip's gone faulty. Oh no, that's 0.05, hold on a minute, hold on. No, so we've still got the problem. No, we've still... Oh my, is it this one here? So I'm going to have to take off this one now, aren't I? I've got to take out that chip now. Ah, well if it isn't that one, then I'm going to be really confused. I'll get my dinner and come back to this afterwards. Alright, surely now it has to be this one, because this is the end of the line. Unless of course it branches somewhere and goes off elsewhere. Don't think it does though. So, now, confidence, it's going to be this chip. There goes my solder. Right now, come on Vince. Come on now. Do you know what? I don't know which one. I think it was this one I just took out. Maybe I can watch back the video. Right, now, come on. Give me that reading. Give me that clean reading. Results. Now we've got the 0.6. Now we've got that 0.6. So which one was it again? Was it this one? Here. So it was here. So now 1, 2, 3, 4 from the top. So 4 from the top, and ground is going to be this one here. So let's see if we do have a short between them. So it goes on this way, 4 from the top and the ground. So here and here. We have a 31 ohm short. Now let's go on to the other one, which is this one here. Let's see what we got here. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Hold on. Wait 1 second now. From here, it goes to here. And from there it went to here, did it not? So why is that not coming up now? Is it because it goes from here to here? I'm getting confused now. Why did I take off this one? Oh, no, it comes across here, here. So from there, it goes to here. Here to here. So if we're going from ground, why is the reading different? So now we're normal. 0.63, that's normal. So ground would be here to here. 0.05, so what's this one? What on earth? They're reading the same. So if I was to put this one back in, I bet the fault, unless of course they're both gone faulty, could that be a possibility? Well, I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's go back to here. And let's see which one is coming on here. So it's 4 from the top again, isn't it? 4 from the top. So let's get the one we did earlier, the flip-flop one. And let's see if that's got the same reading. So first of all, let's get ohm reading. Nothing. Nothing there. Now let's get this. They're both faulty. Yeah, look at that. 0.58. So these are both faulty. Very interesting. I wasn't expecting to have a fault on 2 chips. Normally it would just be the 1 chip that's faulty. Unless of course they're somehow working in a pair, because both of those pins seem to be connected together. So anyway, what I have to do is put the flip-flop chip back in, and also I'm going to put the 2 good chips from the known working one into this one that I got from my brother, the faulty one. And as well as that, I'm going to put the 2 faulty chips into the known working one, and that way then if we turn that on and we just get the garbled screen when the game's connected, we know 100% the 2 chips were to blame. I'm slightly worried because I'm wondering whether these chips have latched on. Remember, I'm only going by a diode reading, and the one from eBay was playing a game, so maybe when it's playing a game the chips have some sort of memory where they latch on or off. So maybe on the working console they're latched on, and maybe on the one I got from my brother they're latched off, but they might actually be working. They just might be giving me a different reading. Not 100% sure, but anyway, that's what I've chased down so far, but I could be completely wrong. So I just want to show you this next bit now when I'm soldering in the flip-flop chip, because this will become relevant later on. And then we're going to connect it up to the TV and we're going to see what's happening. Also, I want to have a quick look on Google to see what these 2 faulty chips actually are. I want to make sure I put enough through that it will go right the way through to the other side, just in case, before pulling off the chip out, that I've damaged a wire. If I can get enough solder right the way through, then the traces on the other side will also be connected via the leg of the chip, even if the wire was damaged. Right, good news is they're readily available, and I can even get them on eBay, 5 of them for like about £5 or £6. There's not a huge amount of money. Basically, they are 3-state hex buffers. These devices are high-speed hex buffers with 3 state outputs. They are organized as a single 6-bit or 2-bit 4-bit with inverting or non-inverting data paths. The outputs are designed to drive 15 TTL unit lows or 60 low power Schottky lows when the enable is low. I mean, where are they even going up to? Are they going up to this area here? No, I don't know where they're going. So I think that I'm going to. I think I'm going to buy 5 of them. Now I'm not 100% sure because the very fact that both of them have gone seems a little bit weird to me. I think they might be just latched on. So what I'm going to do is, I'm not actually sure that the whole fault I've been chasing is related to anything, because remember, this one was working. This one wasn't. So maybe this has a game slightly stored in the chips while this one doesn't, because it hasn't been working. So I'm going to take the 2 chips out of here and I'm going to put them into here. And then I think I'll put these 2 chips into here just to see, because at least this way, if this one's still working, I know the fault is elsewhere. I might have just been sent on a wild goose chase. If this one starts working, my brother's one that he gave me, and this one is faulty, brilliant. I will order up 5 of these from eBay. I'll fit 2 of them and then I'll have 3 spares. So yeah, I'm just going to swap them out now. That's going to take me about 20 minutes to do because it takes quite a while to get them out and solder them in and stuff. I'll come back to the video when I've got them in and I'm about to turn them on the TV. Okay, here we go. I think I'm going to do the eBay one first, because if it doesn't work, then I'm going to be happy, yeah? So let's put the game in and let's plug it in. I think it's going to work, annoyingly. Right, so this is the eBay one with the suspected faulty chips. Ready? In you go. Come on. Yes, yes, yes. Brilliant. That's fantastic. That's really, really good, unless I've messed up both of them. Right, okay. Let's unplug that one. Now, I'm going to get the one my brother gave me. So let's plug that into here. I think I might have actually fixed it. I've been on this for quite a while. Right, let's plug this in. Anybody recognise this TV that I fixed up in another video? Right, here we go. So, power. Power is here, this one. Are you ready? Is it going to work for the first time since I've had it? Come on now, please. Come on, please, please, please. Oh, okay. Reset. You still don't work. You still don't work. But it looks different. That does look different. Let's unplug it. Let's put this in again, just in case it was a bad contact. Come on. Come on. Oh no. No, that's absolutely terrible. What? What's going on there? So I've now got 2 that doesn't work. Oh, come on. Oh, it's soul destroying. I've put so much work into this one, and now to have both of them not working is just upsetting. I could say devastating, but there is worse things in life. Anyway, I'm going back to doing my diode testing again between the 2 boards to see if I can find what else is different, because clearly those 2 chips are faulty because I've put them in to the working one and it's not working anymore. But it looks like we've got something else which isn't working either. So yeah, I'm just I'm sticking with it. I put that much time into it. I have to get an outcome. I have to get a solid outcome. Either it's unfixable because this chip is faulty and you can't get them, or it needs to be fixed. So I spend the next hour, believe it or not, just going point by point on every single chip, trying to find a difference that's significant enough in the diode readings. Right, I've spent an hour going across the boards here. I started on the other side and then I thought, oh, so I went onto the chips here. I could cry, I think, with happiness. So this is the one my brother gave me here. You remember I've put the 2 chips on from here. This is the eBay one that was working and is no longer working. Anyway, I've been going around every single part of the chip looking for different things here. But you know what? I haven't been comparing them to here because look, pretty much everything in here will be ground. It will be rising up. So for example, if we go here, this will be ground, and it will be ground on near enough every single chip, I think, yeah? And then the bottom left one will be, this one here, will be always rising because that's the power in, yeah? So I haven't actually been going across them. I've just been looking for what looks like sensible readings, like 0.5, 0.6, 0.7. They're all normal kind of readings. Anyway, you know up here that we're getting different readings because this is the one that was faulty before, and you can see it's still completely different than any other reading. There's no 0.02 on the board anywhere. But look at this. At long last, I've seen something, and it was me. I found a solder blob. I can't tell you how happy I am. So remember, we also took this chip out here. Well, looky what we have here. Can you see there? We've got a nice solder blob. I haven't even zoomed in on it yet. I think it's going across both of them. Can you see there? Those two are completely joined, aren't they? A massive big solder blob. So I'm hoping now, when I get rid of that, I'm hoping this will come to life because I can't find anything else wrong with it. Surely now it's got to come to life. So let's get some solder wick on the go. And the soldering iron, let's remove that blob. And then hopefully I will be done. So I don't know, I must have just flooded too much down the other side, you know, and it's come through to here. So I'm just going to check my work here as well on the other ones that I've done, you know, the ones up here. Because I was checking them from the other side. Yeah, that's interesting because on the other side, it looks absolutely fine. There's no blob at all on this side here, yeah? It looks absolutely perfect up here. I've just pushed through too much solder and I didn't think to check the top side. Surely now it's got to start working. Yeah, and look, it wouldn't have just gone against the two pins there. Can you see there's a trace? And these are all, there's no solder mask on these. These are lovely traces because you can measure them absolutely everywhere. You know, they're all like solder right the way along. And so it would have gone in between as well and hit the traces in between them. Right, here we go. That looks clear to me. So I'm going here and here, and the trace. Here and here, the trace. Here and here, the trace. Here and here, the trace. So I think now we're good. Excellent. Right, let's go back to the TV. It's late at night now, so I'm going to set the TV up in this room here in case I start yelling. Okay, here goes. I feel physically drained. It has to work now. It has to work. Please. You don't know how much I need this to work. You ready? I'm expecting it to work. So I will be I'll be more disappointed if it doesn't work than I'll be happy if it does work because I'm expecting it to work. It has to work. It has to work. Here we go. Come on now. Come on. Come on. Yes! Yes, yes, yes! Yes! One word, 4 syllables. Hallelujah! Oh, yes, yes, yes. Amazing. Oh, thank God for that. I needed that. Oh, brilliant. Right. This is a memory game, so you have to hit the keyboard. So like A is somewhat weird, I don't know. In fact, these are probably the symbols I was talking about earlier that's stored on that main CPU. It's got certain characters built into it. So now I've got to see what else is there. Let's see what's under C. See what's under C. T. That's an aeroplane. S. B. I seen a square. That was C, wasn't it? There you go. So you can see I've got one there now. Oh my god, it's working. So it was those annoying hex inverter buffer things. So I'm going to order 2 of them off eBay. Why would they blow after all this time? It must have been in the attic for like 30 or 40 years. It gets taken down. It works. Then the next day, those 2 things have blown. Why? That's odd. Aeroplane. Right, so that was under T, wasn't it? T and N. There you go. You get the idea. How fantastic is that? Right, what I am going to do is... So happy. Do you know what? That's a proper fix as well. I'm really happy. I had to go across the whole board there to find them 2 hex converter inverter buffer things. I am going to put the 63 volt caps back in here. I'm going to leave the other caps because newer caps are probably going to perform better than the older ones. Well, not necessarily, depending on where they came from. But obviously they're 50 years old now. So I am going to... Not 50, what am I talking about? 40 something. I'm going to replace them. I'm going to order up 2 of those inverter things from eBay. I'll probably get a pack of 5, so I've got spare in the future because maybe they're very common in devices of this age. And yeah, then hopefully at the end we should have 2 working ones. Oh, that's fantastic. And I really want to show you that Pac-Man type game because it's actually a good game. Oh, I'm so happy. And just to make sure it's not a fluke, I'm going to unplug it. It's such a shame that there's no on and off switch on it because it feels so wrong just unplugging it. And back in again. Oh, I can't tell you how good that feels. So good. Right, I'm going to see you in a little while when I have those hex inverter buffer things. So I've ordered up 6 of these chips from eBay for less than £6. So it works out as under £1 each. So if I can get this working for £2, that will be a right result. So hopefully they'll be arriving any day now. I've put in the 2 capacitors back in, the 63 volt ones, and I've put the game back together and used a little bit of sticky tape to get the label down nicely again. It's not as perfect as it was before, but it's not far off. Now I don't think I'm going to film the putting in of the 2 new chips because you've seen me do enough desoldering and soldering in this video, and also it's as long as a feature length film, so I think I need to tie it up now. Hopefully next time you see this we will have 2 TVs with 2 Philips G7000 Videopac computers working, and that would be a lovely end to the video because I've put so much effort into this one to get it working. So already I'm on a high, but hopefully when I see both of them working, that will be the icing and the cherry on the cake. Right, my 6 chips have arrived, so I'm going to pop 2 of them in, and let's see then if we'll end up with 2 working Videopac computers. Check it out, this brings me such joy. I put so much hard work into this, and at long last it's paid off. So this here is the one from eBay. You can now see it's working. This game here is similar to kind of Battle. Do you remember Battle on the Atari 2600? So you would fire there, and then your opponent would go up here and try to get you. And I presume other levels, boom, there you go. Other levels, I presume, is going to bounce around the place and stuff. So this is the eBay one. You can see that that's working now. And this is the one my brother gave me. And you can see this is working. And I want to show you this game here, Crazy Chase. Look at the artwork. Right, this is a really good game. So select game. Right, so what you have to do is, I'm this guy in the middle, and what you have to do is you have to actually go onto the back of, not get hit by those people, the back of the snake, and then you start eating the snake. And these kind of trees get in your way. But it feels that the controller is so nice because it's got, I messed up there, but you know exactly where you're going. So you can get through them, but it takes time. Oh, back. Oh, you can get those ghost things when they're flashing like that. Come on. There we go. Got that level done. So it's a really nice, enjoyable game. Let's try to do the next level. And you don't have to go hard. You can go, you know, you don't have to go at the very... If his head gets you, you're dead. You don't have to go at the very end of the snake. You can go halfway through. Oh, that was close. It keeps going around here. It's fantastic. Right, really enjoyed that. So there we have it. A really, really enjoyable repair. A very time-consuming repair, but really, really enjoyable. I hope you enjoyed it. I know it's a very, very long video, but you can appreciate I spent a lot of time on it and I need to keep the relevant bits in. So yeah, I'm so happy that we were successful in the end. So if you've managed to sit through the whole thing, I do really appreciate that. If you enjoyed it, give it a big thumbs up and I will be back very shortly with another video. Take care everyone.